Hey, what's up, guys? Anthony here, and welcome to the Born to Create podcast. I appreciate you tuning in and watching, listening to the podcast. So, in the not so distant past, I was homeless. I had nowhere to live. I used to drive this massive 16 passenger van, and every morning I would take my kids to school because they were living with their grandmother, and I would sit in this parking lot in my area, and I would write down my goals, write down my visions, and just really visualize the way I want my life to be. And in this podcast, I want to talk to you about you guys may not be homeless, but I think some of you guys have a struggle in getting to that next level in your business, or even starting a business, right? So the first thing that sticks out to me is that in that parking lot, I was writing my goals, writing my visions, and I knew what I wanted to do, but I was blaming society. I was blaming everybody else for being in that parking lot but myself. I was living on my victim story in that parking lot. And even though I was writing my goals and I knew I wanted to go, I couldn't get out. I was stuck in that position because I played the victim. And then being in that victim mentality, having that victim story, I started to complain about everything. And once I reversed that and started to create, that's when everything changed for me and changed for my family. So I've been an entrepreneur for about 15 years, and I've had ups, I've had downs, and one of my times of being homeless came after having some success as an entrepreneur. I started in the real estate game, and I used to fix and flip and wholesale properties, and I was doing very, very well until the market crashed in 08, 010. It was devastating, right? For me, I had absolutely nothing because I invested everything in real estate. My whole being was invested in real estate. So when the market crashed, I crashed, lost everything, lost cars, lost houses, lost businesses, lost everything. So I fell into a deep depression, and I fell into victimhood, and I blame everything, everybody for my position except for myself. So some time passed, and I was going through a very deep emotional battle, right? And I got a phone call from a friend of mine, and he said, I have something for you. And at that time, I thought real estate was my only way back, right? And when I got introduced to e-commerce and digital marketing, that's when things changed. So I got the phone call, and it was very interesting for me. I was looking for something to get back, but didn't know it was going to be online marketing and digital marketing, advertising, and e-commerce. So the first thing that you need to do in changing your mindset, changing where you are, changing where you want to be, is releasing the victim story. Right? And saying to yourself, everything is my fault. Take extreme ownership for who you are, where you are, and then you can go to where you want to be. So that's what I had to do. I had to take extreme ownership for my position, situation, and knowing that it was my fault. Secondly, I had to stop complaining and be grateful for what I had and where I was, because your little bit is someone else's feast, right? Someone always has it worse than you. So everything that I had to stop complaining about it and then learn to be grateful for what I had. And that big 16 passenger van, right? I had somewhere to sleep. I had a way to get my kids to school. I had a way to get my kids food, and I had to be grateful. So once I started being grateful for where I was and who I was, and know that I was on a journey, everything started to change for me. So you have to decide what business you want to jump into. And it doesn't have to be the same one that you've failed, that had experience with. It can be a passion, it can be not a passion, but the goal is to get off your feet and start making some money, right? So I know nothing about e-commerce. I know nothing about online marketing. I know nothing about having an online store. I just know that I purchased stuff from Amazon in the past, but that was it. So I got introduced to dropshipping, and dropshipping is a method where you create this online store and you fill it with products. And when someone buys from your website, you then go to the manufacturer or distributor and you have them ship the product directly to the customer on your behalf, right? So if I would buy a product if I would sell a product on my site for $15, but my cost is $2, well, I would collect the $15 from the customer and then pay the distributor $2, and then I would keep the $13, and that's my profit. Minus ad costs, minus anything I was doing for advertisement. So when I got a hold of that concept, things started looking up for me, right? I started to regain confidence in my ability to make money. And the biggest thing in losing something or starting something new is having confidence in knowing that you can go out there and create this business. And I'm not gonna lie, there was a lot of fear in doing something new. And the way that I conquer fear is I took the action anyway. Right? You cure fear by taking action. You cure fear by doing it despite how you feel. A lot of people, say that, and I say it is that, I have no fear, right? And the absence of fear to me is not courageous. Courageous is when you move forward despite the fear, because the fear is going to be there. And anyone that does not admit that they're fearful is lying to themselves, right? Anyone that admits that is not telling the truth. And you have to be vulnerable and you have to be honest with yourself in order for you to move forward and get to where you want to be, right? So when I started dropshipping, that gave me the courage to say, you know what, I can do it again, right? And I started seeing my store do $100 a day, $200 a day, $400 a day. And I got to a point where I was doing over $3,000 a day in my dropship store, right? Now listen, I came from real estate, right? And I was doing well, right? And then I went from being homeless, losing everything, being on welfare and having the county take care of my family. And then going from there to making about $3,000 a day online. Now that's the power of believing in yourself, right? You're going to have failures. You're going to have struggles. There are going to be hurdles that come in your life, but you have to continue to believe in yourself. Even at a moment, there will be moments where you stop believing and you lose courage and you lose the strength to keep going, but you got to find a way to regain that. And you do that by continuing to feed and grow your mind, right? The mindset is very important to any aspect of growth, right? Especially when you've been through massive failure, right? So when I got into drop shipping, things changed for me. I told my family that was the last time we would go through that, right? And it was the last time. And then I got back into real estate. I got back into wholesaling, and I started to make a very decent income. I generated a 6-figure, 7-figure business in a matter of less than a year. And I owe that to being in a community of like-minded people, right? We think that we can do this thing called life all by ourselves, right? And we can, but doing it alone only get you to a certain point in your life. You will cap and you will max out on your ability to grow. But if you have a group of like-minded people around you, talking to you, feeding you, encouraging you, and giving you that pound of back and pushing you beyond your limits, pushing you past your fear, that's when you grow. You need people that's going to say, hey, Anthony, I recognize this is your comfort zone. I'm going to push you out of that comfort zone and not tell you what you want to hear, but need to hear. So my community of brothers are amazing. They push me, they encourage me, and they challenge me every single day to be a better version of the man I was yesterday. And one of the things you want to avoid in my worst fear is being the same man I am today, being that same man a year from now. Right. That's something that actually haunts me, and I push to not be that man. So where are you now in your entrepreneurship journey? Are you just starting? Did you start and you had some failures and you're trying to get back on the horse? What is your journey? I would love to know what your journey is. If you're just starting, you need courage. You need a community. You need people that's going to push you beyond your limits. If you've failed, if you had a business and you failed and you're trying to get back on the horse, then you need a community. You need people who are like-minded. You need people that can push you beyond your limits. So figure out where you are. All right. And any and everything that you want to do, it's attainable. My victim story, my complaining, my situation was all a result of something that I created. I had to take ownership for where I was in my life. So I said this. I said, hey, life, if you can create a life of lack, actually, I said, hey, Anthony, if you can create a life of lack, you can create a life of abundance, because you have the power to create anything that you want. We create what we don't want and what we do want. So it's up to us to make that choice, right? So if you want to learn how to open a dropship store, right? I have a course in this video that will show you how you can start your first dropship store. It's easy. Does it require money? A little investment for a website, $30 a month that you pay for a website. And you even get a 14-day free trial, right? So you can build your store and start making sales before that first payment comes in. Do you want to learn how to wholesale real estate, right? The concepts of buying houses low and reselling them high. I have a course down in the description. Take a look at it and just walk through the process. Start learning and relearning and getting things done. You need a community of people that can hold you accountable, hold you to the fire, and make sure that you are doing what you need to do, plus giving you valuable tips that you can use to implement into your business. All right. I have the Creators Club, and the Creators Club is a group of exclusive investors. I'm sorry, not investors, a group of entrepreneurs that talk every Monday and Wednesday on Zoom, and we push each other. We have concepts we teach. You learn from 6, 7, 8-figure entrepreneurs who are out there in the business, in the industry, making money today, right? That link as well is below. So there are so many opportunities, so much resources that we have that you can use to learn and push and go to that next level. But the question is, will you take advantage of those resources? That's the question. So, hey, that's it for the podcast. So I hope that was informative. I hope I shed some light on my story and me going from homeless to entrepreneur, from homeless to creating a 7-figure business. And I hope that helped. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Have an amazing day, evening, morning, wherever you are. And thank you for watching Born to Create. Bye-bye.